Hey there, welcome back to Stick It Real, where we keep things simple, real, and all about helping you live your best life in 2025. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt completely intimidated by the idea of networking? I know I have. Just a few months ago, I was invited to this big industry event, and I was so nervous about talking to new people that I almost didn't go. I kept picturing myself awkwardly standing in a corner, holding a drink, while everyone else was making amazing connections and landing dream opportunities. It felt so overwhelming, like I had to be this super outgoing person to even stand a chance. But here's the thing. What if I told you that networking is actually way easier than you think? I know, it sounds crazy, but trust me, I've learned a super simple way to make networking feel effortless, and it's completely changed how I connect with people. In this video, I'm going to share my 3-step Connect Now formula that takes the stress out of networking and helps you build meaningful connections without feeling awkward or overwhelmed. We'll go through the 3 steps together. I'll share how this formula helped me make a game-changing connection at that event I was so nervous about, and I'll give you some extra tips to make networking a breeze, whether you're at a big event online or even just reaching out to someone new. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, easy plan to start networking with confidence. Whether you're looking to grow your career, make new friends, or just get better at connecting with people. So let's dive in and make networking something you actually look forward to, because you've got this. Before we get into the solution, let's talk about why networking feels so hard for so many of us. Have you ever walked into a room full of people and felt like everyone already knows each other except you? That was me at that industry event I mentioned. I kept thinking, what am I even supposed to say? What if I sound weird or boring? And the pressure to make a good impression, it's a lot, right? For a lot of us, networking feels like this big, scary thing where you have to be super charming or have the perfect elevator pitch ready to go. And if you're more on the introverted side, like me, it can feel even more intimidating, like you're stepping way out of your comfort zone just to say hi to someone. But here's the thing. Networking doesn't have to be this stressful, high-stakes thing. So many of us overthink it, and that's what holds us back. We tell ourselves, I'm not good at this, or I don't know the right people. And before we even try, we've already talked ourselves out of it. I used to feel that way all the time, and it stopped me from making connections that could have helped me grow in my career and even in my personal life. But once I realized that networking is really just about building relationships, and that you don't have to be perfect to do it, I started to see it in a whole new way. That's where the Connect Now formula comes in. It's a simple, 3-step approach that takes away the overwhelm and makes networking feel natural and easy. Let's break it down together. Step 1. Start with a smile. All right, let's get into the first step of the Connect Now formula. Start with a smile. Now, I know this might sound super basic, but hear me out, because this one little thing can make a huge difference. When you're at an event, or even just meeting someone new, the first thing you want to do is smile. It's the easiest way to break the ice and make the other person feel comfortable. A smile says, hey, I'm friendly, I'm open to talking, without you having to say a word. And the best part? It takes literally 2 seconds, and it works every single time. I tried this at that industry event I was so nervous about. I walked into the room, my heart was racing, but I made myself smile at the first person I saw. And you know what? They smiled back, and suddenly, I didn't feel so out of place anymore. Here's how you can do it. The next time you're in a networking situation, whether it's in person or even on a video call, just smile and say a simple hi. That's it. You don't need a fancy opener or a big introduction. For example, if you're at an event, walk up to someone, smile, and say, hi, I'm your name. If you're online, like on LinkedIn, start with a friendly message like, hi, I saw your post about topic, and I'd love to connect. That smile, whether it's in person or through your friendly tone online, sets the stage for a real connection. It's such a small action, but it takes away so much of the awkwardness and makes you feel more confident too. So, that's step 1. Start with a smile, and you're already on your way to making a connection. Step 2. Ask one good question. Now that you've broken the ice with a smile, let's move on to step 2. Ask one good question. This step is all about showing genuine interest in the other person, which is the key to building a real connection. People love talking about themselves. It's just human nature. So when you ask a thoughtful question, it makes the conversation flow naturally, and it takes the pressure off you to do all the talking. Here's how it works. After you smile and say hi, ask one simple, open-ended question about the other person. Something like, what brought you to this event? Or what do you love most about your work? These kinds of questions show that you're curious about them, and they give the other person a chance to share something meaningful. At that industry event, after I smiled and said hi to someone, I asked, "What's been the highlight of the event for you so far?" And the person lit up. They started telling me about a speaker they loved, and before I knew it, we were having a real conversation. I didn't have to say much at all because my question got them talking, and I just listened and nodded along. If you're networking online, you can do the same thing. Maybe ask, "I saw you worked on project. How was that experience?" The goal here is to keep it simple and genuine. Don't overthink it. Just ask something you're actually curious about. This one question opens the door to a real conversation, and it makes the other person feel valued, which is the foundation of any good connection. So, step 2 is to ask one good question, and you'll be amazed at how easy it is to keep the conversation going from there. Step 3, follow up with value. All right, we're on to the third step of the Connect Now formula, follow up with value. This step is what turns a casual conversation into a meaningful connection that can actually grow over time. Here's the idea. After you've smiled, asked your question, and had a little chat, find a way to follow up that adds value to the other person. This could be as simple as sharing a resource, offering a small piece of advice, or just letting them know you'd love to stay in touch. For example, if they mentioned they're working on a project, you might say, "That sounds awesome. I actually read an article about that topic recently. I'd be happy to send it to you if you'd like." Or if you're online, you could follow up with a message like, "Thanks for connecting. I really enjoyed learning about your work. Here's a link to a tool I think you might find helpful." The key here is to focus on giving, not asking for something right away. When you add value, it shows that you're not just there to take. You're there to build a real relationship. At that event, after my conversation with the person I met, I followed up a few days later with a quick email saying, "It was so great meeting you. I remembered you mentioned that speaker, and I found their TED Talk online. Here's the link." That small gesture made them feel appreciated, and it kept our connection alive. Following up with value doesn't have to be complicated. It's just about showing that you care and that you're someone worth staying in touch with. So, that's step 3. Follow up with value, and you'll turn a quick chat into a connection that can grow over time. How it worked for me. Let me tell you how the Connect Now formula completely changed my experience at that industry event. Like I said, I was so nervous walking in. I almost turned around and left before I even started. But I decided to try this 3-step method and see what happened. Step 1, I started with a smile. I walked up to the first person I saw, smiled, and said, "Hi, I'm my name." They smiled back, and I could feel my nerves start to melt away. Step 2, I asked one good question. I said, "What's been the highlight of the event for you so far?" And that got us talking. They told me about a speaker they loved, and I shared that I'd enjoyed the same talk. We ended up chatting for a good 10 minutes, and it felt so natural. Then came step 3, follow up with value. A few days after the event, I sent them an email saying, "It was so great meeting you at the event. I found that speaker's TED Talk online. Here's the link in case you want to check it out." They replied saying, "Thanks so much, that's awesome." And here's the best part. That person turned out to be a manager at a company I'd been hoping to work with. A few weeks later, they reached out to me about a freelance project, and I ended up getting the gig. All because I took those 3 simple steps to connect. Networking went from something I dreaded to something I actually felt confident about, and it all came down to starting small, being curious, and adding value. I know this can work for you too, whether you're at an event, networking online, or just trying to connect with someone new in your life. Before we wrap up, I want to share a few quick tips to make the Connect Now formula stick for you. First, practice your smile in the mirror. It sounds silly, but it helps you feel more confident when you're in the moment. Second, keep a list of 3 to 5 go-to questions on your phone, like, "What do you love about your work?" Or, "What brought you here?" That way, you'll never feel stuck on what to say. And finally, set a reminder to follow up within 48 hours after meeting someone. It keeps the connection fresh and shows you're serious about building a relationship. Oh, and one more thing, don't put pressure on yourself to be perfect. Networking is just about being yourself and showing genuine interest in others. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. So there you have it. Networking really is easier than you think, thanks to the 3-step Connect Now formula. To recap, Start with a smile, ask one good question, and follow up with value to build meaningful connections without the stress. You've got everything you need to start networking with confidence, and I'm so excited for you to try this out. I'd love to hear how it goes, so let me know in the comments who's one person you're going to connect with using this formula. Share your wins with me. I can't wait to cheer you on. If you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss more tips to make 2025 your best year yet. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's keep it real with Stick It Real.